And if you're not progressing properly, then you're doing damage to something. And it doesn't matter if you're running on blacktop or trails or the track or whatever you're doing. It's that listening to your body and making sure that you're not going past. Because that's the thing. People want. There's this aggressive attitude in most of society about our bodies that we have to beat the hell out of it, and it's not true. You don't need to beat the hell out of your body.
No pain, no gain is not something you're buying into.
No, I believe in muscle burn, right? But if there's joint pain or if there's abrasions or cuts and those sort of things, what good is that?
If you need lots of ibuprofen, which I know some ultra distance runners who are training and they're popping them, and then all of a sudden they're not going in for biomechanical, they're going in for intestinal problems and holes in their stomach.
And then you're out. So what's the point of injuring yourself in an exercise? Then you're out for 3 weeks or a month, and then you got to start all over again. Why not just go slowly and progress just a little tiny bit? There's a great book called The Slight Edge, and I forget who the author is. He talks about this, and and you can apply this principle to any part of your life. You can apply it to your diet, you can apply it to your finances, you can apply it to your exercise, everything. If you progress yourself properly and you're patient with it, and a little bit every day, then you end up with a big result. But most people try to go big result to end up with a big result, and it doesn't happen. The Japanese call it Kaizen.
The Kaizen philosophy, I've read that, yeah. So I sat down with many aging athletes over the last 2 years for my book, The Aging Athlete. You can see that on theagingathlete.com. So lots of these folks were performance-based when they were at their peak in their late teens, their 20s, and some of them all the way up to in their mid-40s. A few of them are still performance-based. The top athlete in my entire book just turned 87. He's a World War II vet, and he can beat any of the athletes that are in the book in endurance cycling, the 3 sports, the triathlon. He'd have to do that. Some of them could beat him in the distance running, some could beat him in the bike, but if it's all 3, he's the top. And I've got athletes in there that are in their 50s that are really good. He's 87, he can beat them all. But so I talked with some other people, and one of the things people shared with me is why? What is this motivation why you have to be the best? Well, these performance athletes, that's in their mindset. The ones that I've interviewed that achieved the top performance are the ones that were able to, with their health, maintain their performance training and competitions until they got to a point of winning. 100%, or I should say 99% of the other athletes that had that same mindset didn't make it because of breakdown of mind, body, or both, or job, or family. There's something that got in the way. Any comments?
Just the fact that it's all mindset. And if you really believe in something, you're more likely you're gonna attain it. Yeah. It's those folks that do that and that do attain it. They make huge sacrifices in their life to do that. Yeah. And sometimes it's sacrificing time with family. Sometimes it's sacrificing their bodies in certain ways. But there's always something that comes with winning that desirable thing that they're after.
Yeah, because the other person that's training from South Dakota or Italy, whoever wants the same race that they want, is doing the same stuff, and they have to compete with each other. And the one who does the training, not the hardest, but the smartest and the good intentions and the best rest, and all their DNA is happy and their molecules are happy, they hit it. And they also have to be in the zone. You know, you can't be in the zone 365 days a year. There's one guy who ran, I think, 50 triathlons in 50 days. Don't even think about that, trying to do that. It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. He's born, I think, with the ability to do that, and then he had the mindset and all these other things. I could have the mindset, but my body's not going to like 50 triathlons in 50 days. This guy probably has perfect hip, shoulder, genetics, perfect musculature, perfect fast twitch and slow twitch, perfect ability to clean out lactic acid, not to produce inflammation. He had everything going in order to do the 50 days.
Sure. Yeah, those things do come into play. I mean, but I'm a surfer, so one of my idols is Kelly Slater, and he's
very gifted.
He's an amazing. How many world titles the guy has is.
And he's got a great attitude. He does it like we're eating a piece of chocolate. That's how easy it looks.
He has a great attitude, but he from the beginning kept his body in good shape, stretching, those sort of things. He doesn't do drugs, he doesn't drink, and he eats really well, and he rests a lot. That's one of the most fundamental things is rest. As most people don't realize,
How
is
big
your
a deal
body
it is.
needs to rest.
Yeah.
Because
That's number one on your list you mentioned last time.
Number one, because I mean hormone levels, cellular regeneration, all those things don't happen unless you're resting. And you know, if you look at the rest of the pro surfers on the tour, the pro surfing tour, they've only just started now testing for drugs in the last few years.
There's a lot of
But Kelly
drug and
Slater,
partying.
there's a lot of partying for those guys. Slater has been on that track for a long time. He's in his 40s beating 20-year-olds, you know. And part of the reason why I think is because he's so gifted, but I think part of the other reason is these guys
Kept
are
it clean.
partying,
Yeah, he's kept it clean.
and they're not even on his level
Yeah.
if they're doing that.
The Paskowitz family in the famous documentary Surfwise, which I recommend everyone to watch, they lived out of an RV, I think 9 or 10 kids, and the parents, mostly in Southern California, living in an RV that was way too small. And what was their job? The dad told them, the dad was an MD, he said, your job is to surf. And they surfed. And when Kelly Slater came along, he's about 10 to 15 years younger than the bulk of that family. These kids were really good surfers. That's all they did is surf, and a lot of them had good bodies. Their father was kind of a Jack LaLanne body type guy. And when Kelly Slater came along, they looked at him like a whole nother being, like this guy's from a different planet. They revered him because he was different level, completely different level than the Paskowitzes, who were winning all the competitions. Their entire family was getting all the age groups. The one female, she won her. They won them all. And then Kelly Slater came along, different animal.
Yeah, he wiped everyone out.